The first part of this homework is the largest part, so let's spend some time on that one first. Remember, when we multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators to make the new numerator, and we multiply the denominators to make the new denominator. So here we're going to do 6 times 2 over 7 times 5. Now when we work that out, that is 12 over 35. That fraction answer cannot be simplified because 12 and 35 don't share any factors. 12 can be divided by 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. 35 can be divided by 5, 7 and 35. So that's my final answer for this one. It's really important to make sure we simplify if we can, because it says lowest term. Next we've got 2/5 times 10 11ths, so the numerator will be 2 times 10 and this denominator will be 5 times 11. Now this time we've got 20 over 55, and both of those have got a factor of 5, so we can divide both parts of the fraction by 5, giving me 4 over 11. That'll be my answer there. Same idea for these two here. Some of the numbers get a little bit big, but just remember, use that trick. What's 10 times the number, and then add one of the number on, and that's 11 times it. Now, we've got some mixed numbers here. So remember, with mixed numbers, first of all we have to turn them into improper fractions. So we've got 6 1/2. So 6 whole ones, that means 6 lots of 2 halves. So 6 times 2, and we've got 1 extra half. That gives me 13 halves. So that's what that's going to be. 13 halves. Now we've got to multiply these, so it will be 13 times 4 over 2 times 5, giving me 52 over 10. We can simplify that by halving both the numerator and the denominator. 26 over 5. And then we can turn this into a mixed number by saying, okay, how many 5s go into 26? Five into 2 doesn't go. 5 into 26 goes 5, remainder 1. 5 whole ones and 1 left over, 1/5. Okay. Next one is very similar. And this one has got 2 mixed numbers that we need to multiply together. So we do exactly the same as we did before. 1 whole 1, that's 1 lot of 6, add on the extra 6. So that's where this one is the integer, and this one is the numerator. It would help if they weren't both 1s. So that gives me 7 over 6. When I look at the other one, 3 is the integer, and 1 is the numerator. It's going to do 3 times 2, adding the 1 all over 2, that's 7 over 2. So we've got 7 over 6 multiplied by 7 over 2, and we multiply those together, we get 49 over 12, and I know that that won't simplify, but what we can do is turn it into a mixed number. So how many 12s fit into 49? 4 remainder 1, 4 remainder 1, and it's still 12s. There's the first page. Now you can see that they're worth a few there when we've got the proper fractions, and when we've got the mixed numbers it's worth a bit more, and then 2 mixed numbers makes it work even more. Fill in all the parts and make sure they're all simplified down. Now this question here will confuse a lot of you, but actually really not that problem. So on a Saturday he's paid time and a quarter. Let's think about that. So that's 1 1/4. We could write that as 5 quarters, 5 over 4. If he works on Sunday, he's paid time and a half. That's 1 1/2 what he would normally be paid, which means he's paid 3 halves of his normal wage, 3 over 2. You can use that last weekend he worked for 6 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday. So he worked 6 hours on Saturday. Let's have a look at that. So Saturday he worked 6 hours and he was paid at time and a quarter. Remember, 6 whole ones is like 6 once. 6 times 5 is 30. 1 times 4 is 4. 7 and 2/4, which is 7.5. So on Saturday he was paid 7.5 hours. That's how the working should be used there. Now if we use the Sunday, on the Sunday he worked for 3 hours and he was being paid 3/2, time and a half. Remember, 3 is 3 once, that gives me 9/2. 9/2 is 4 1/2. If we worked 7, if that's how much he was paid Saturday, that's how much he was paid Sunday. When we add those together, we get 12 hours. Remember, he's being paid £8 an hour. 12 times 8 equals 96. Now be careful. 7 marks, all for this number. Really important we get that one right. But this one is worth so much more. So focus on that first page with lots of questions. This one is a little added bonus.